Oh, testing. Excuse me. Alright. I think we're good here. And we are doing Make a Good 48-hour Mega Man contest. And hopefully that's what it says on the stream, because last time I streamed Dragon Quest, I was apparently streaming Mega Man. And hopefully the game plays better today, too, than it did last time. Last time it was jumping all over the place, and like it's doing now. And it was making the game relatively unplayable. And I don't know why it was doing that. So, I'm gonna move around in the hub for a little bit before I head on to Tier 9. Okay. Alright, let's give this a shot. I really hope this works today, because I had a rough one today at work. No, don't do that. That's a beautiful pork. Mega Mech Shark. Okay, what is the point of this? Sure. Okay. Well, it brought me back where I needed to be, so... Alright. Let's see what we got now. 29th place, Nitro Striker. Lasers and platforms. Score 65.50. 73, 54, 60, 75. 27 minutes late. We got Shadow Man platforms and force beams. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, that's what we're doing? The Davwin one up, so quite cute. Ooh, a red force beam. I don't know what that's going to do when I cross it. It's instant death, okay. So... and this is gonna be a level I think I want to... where is it? Yeah. If the force beams are supposed to be instant death and they're not gonna kill me in one shot, I want to get rid of that item. That's gonna make it a little bit easier. Those bullets take way too many hits. Okay, so I think I see what it wants me to do. Let's get you out of the way first. There we go. Kinda what it wanted me to do, but... There we go. Oh boy. Checkpoint. And looks like it's probably gonna be right before a mini-boss. I got a text message. Oh, that red thing is your weakness. Okay. Whoop. Going down. I heard a force beam go off, and I don't know where. I'm digging this music. I don't know if it's a custom theme or if it's from one of the games I haven't played much of. Or if it's even from a Megaman game. Definitely sounds Mega Man-y. Huh. Huh. Oh. Oop, that's slow moving. Okay. Damn it. Start that over. Okay. I see what it wants me to do. I'm not happy about it, but I... Oop. And that was a slide. Yeah, I'm still doing that occasionally. Perfect. That big boss gate really necessary. And Sparkman again. Oh, okay. That was new. Just jump right into the Spark Shock, that's good. Yay! That was an alright level. Kind of fun. I'm not one of those people that absolutely despises force beams, so... When they're done creatively, anyways. Parmesan. This level follows a pretty straightforward A, B, A plus B format. It works for the assets. You introduce one idea, then you introduce the other. Then you combine them at the end for a final challenge. I really like the lasers and the switches. They work super well together, and the challenges are always challenging, but fun. Never too hard or unfair. The issue is that the later section with the ladder enemies feels a bit short. It's good, but combining them feels like it ended too soon. Maybe another room or two to experiment with them together and get something more out of them would have made this level better. Overall, this level is good and concise. PK Ouija. I've been struggling to come up with much of anything to say about this one. While the combo of quick lasers and the block switches was not bad, it didn't really grab me all that much. I did like the slow laser sections more, though, for some reason. Short and straight to the point. Seems to be her gimmick. M-Jack. How far can one cool gimmick elevate a not so cool level? Pretty far, if this is any indication. I really loved this level for the first playthrough, almost entirely because it has quick lasers as its central gimmick, but actually uses them in a way that's novel and interesting and not just run or die. They're even color-coded. How cute. But then on a replay, I realized that cool gimmick aside, we've got a bunch of problems. Most of these have to do with how gimmicks and enemies are introduced. For instance, the second screen introduces both the helicopter met and the laser gimmick at the same time, in a way that doesn't give either time to breathe. And there's no indication that some of the lasers are going to be slow ones. Especially concerning, as the first slow laser in a place where if it is a normal speed laser, like you assume, it will be based on precedent. Hitting the switch will kill you. Which made me second guess myself. And then the subsequent slow laser room is just your standard run through this linear segment before the laser hits you challenge. Just without the difficulty and with a less exciting presentation. But ultimately, I think the main flaw of this level is symbolized by the long horizontal section early-ish on where drop platforms are placed over a red laser over a bottomless pit. The laser is visually exciting. Oh no, I thought, better avoid the laser. But in reality, it's irrelevant, because if you fall, you take your 2 points of graze damage and then just die from falling into the pit. Even though the level has a very cool gimmick, most of the challenge in it stems not from the very cool gimmick, but from ye old stretches of perilous drop platforms over oblivion. Just gotta trademark that, it's all capitalized. There are some cool setups here, but a lot of time the gimmick that would make this level unique is just window dressing on the hackneyed challenges that it feels like 50% of the levels in this contest rely upon. It's not a bad level by any means, just a little disappointed, seeing the cool idea squandered. Oops. Freems. A lesson I've learned throughout this contest is that I like quick beams being used in unorthodox ways, and combining the lasers with the switches was a really good idea. The lasers pretty much never feel too overbearing, and it changes the challenge from gotta go fast to a challenge about timing your shots, which is a type of variety I like. It doesn't go on too long either, which is heavily appreciated. The difficulty curve of the level does seem a little backwards though. The first half is definitely far more punishing than the second half. It's not undoable, but the constant Shadow Man platform jumps over a bottomless pit for a long time with one of those flying Mets coming at you isn't terribly easy. The second half of the level isn't the easiest thing in the world, but it's certainly more of a breeze than the first. And when it comes to nitpicks, the quick beam overlapping with the boss health bar is kinda funky. But overall, I did enjoy this one. Nothing crazy, has some problems, but thought out and a pretty good time. Yeah, I think I agree with the two judges that did in fact enjoy this level. I enjoyed it. I thought this was a very, very fun level. We'll see how I feel on secondary playthroughs, because MJack said that she didn't enjoy it on second and third playthroughs, so... But, we'll see. Someday, we'll see. I'm still way behind on all my reviews anyways. I have one written out in the video for it, but I just haven't uploaded it yet to my YouTube. One of these days this week I will. Probably, maybe tonight. 28th place, Absolutia Frost Zero, I think. Ice Treatment Facility. Score 66, 76, 81, 53, 54. Let's do this. And of course we got ice. And these frickin' things again. Going down. And random weapon energy at the very start of the level. I really like this song, too. Man, we've been getting some good songs in this game lately. Alright, I'm curious. Alright, that was dumb. I had a long day. Alright. I know it's just an E-tank. Yeah. Oh. Huh. What do I do here? Stop shooting, you pest. No? Well, might as well kill you, at least. Huh. Ah, can I despawn it? I mean, that's clever, but I don't like the fact that you have to despawn it in order to actually go through. Thank you. No! Can I make that? Yeah, I can. Okay. Jump down. Water. Woo! does fire exist in water? Just an M tank? Okay. I thought maybe that was gonna be a shortcut back to the top. Again, very clever use of the tricks that I think they called tricks. Damn it. Yeah, checkpoint was a ways back, too. The thought I was trying to get out was that was a very clever use of the tricks where they weren't at all threatening at the beginning of the screen, and then when you're coming back with the key, they are quite threatening. I like it when levels do that. It shows that they got a eye for enemy placement. That works. Come on, die. Ow! Damn it. Woo! Alright. Come on! Whew! Made it that time. Oh. I was gonna say, wasn't there supposed to be a third one there? Aww. Oh, that key door is gonna be back, isn't it? I don't know, I probably would have put a checkpoint there. Then again, I've been conditioned for levels with generous checkpoint placement, I guess. The level wasn't so much fun to play, I'd probably be a little more annoyed about it. Yep, I gotta get the key again. Ow. Ow. work that time. Oh, that's evil. That's even more evil. Alright. As long as I kept moving, that wasn't that bad. And yep, it went by the the classic Mega Man rule of two checkpoints per stage. Oh no. Never been my favorite boss fight. You don't appear to be the hard version, so... Whew! That was a fun little stage. Excuse me. Parmesan. Really, really good level. I think you were used the assets given in a really great way without creating an entirely new gimmick. Everything just comes together really well, making a good cohesive experience of a level. Also, you got lucky with several ice gimmicks, and making the floors slippery just brings the whole thing together. Using the water in the later part just fits the whole thing really well, complementing and expanding what you've already built up. Also, using the key to play that section backwards was a nice touch without taking over the whole level. The only real issue that weighs the level down is that I think it needs a checkpoint at the section where the key gate is. A lot of the challenge is based on instant death, which I don't think is terrible for the level. It's just that you have to replay far too much. Splitting that part into two sections would be a massive improvement. PK Ouija. Funny how you got both 1 GB gimmicks. Huh. 1 Game Boy? I don't know what that means. And both are from Iceman stage. Okay, it had to have been 1 Game Boy and both are from Iceman stage. Okay. Coincidences aside, this was a really nice level. Both gimmicks were utilized really well and even combined in cool and clever ways. It was quite fun to see how the formula was going to be shaken up next. Even the 2 side paths with the concrete shot were a good addition. Well done. M-Jack. This level does a pretty good job using the gimmicks it was assigned in a variety of ways. The icicles show up sometimes as platforms, sometimes as pseudo-crystal drops, and at one particularly devious case, exiting the M-Tank room, as a sort of Kaizo trap. The fibers in techs are reasonably threatening without ever being unfair, and the level does some clever stuff with the fire totems, even though it's utterly bizarre that they show up underwater. Shame that it's all overshadowed by the spiked ceilings in the second half of the level. Seriously, those underwater jumps are brutal, and they were far more prominent in my experience of the level than the actual gimmicks. And of course, if you do jump into them, the checkpoint is so early into the level that you'll have plenty of chances to mess up again. That's unfortunate because the level is pretty nice, otherwise. Oof, my teeth itch. Freems, you just got handed Iceman on Game Boy, didn't you? Good news, I can safely say that the first half of the level was pretty solid, while the second went far too heavy into spike territory to really be a lot of fun. Though some of the uses of both of the ice gimmicks were interesting, a few uses seemed a little misguided. While in theory, there's nothing wrong with a lot of precision jumps using the ice blocks, anything that forces you to stay on them for more than a second are incredibly dangerous due to how they eat your jump. And icicles falling from above as a hazard would be more enticing if it wasn't a one and done kind of deal. The idea behind some of the rooms just turns into waiting until the icicles are done and then play the game. That said, the enemies were handled pretty nicely and were never unfair, despite not feeling like a complete afterthought. It's just the second half going too heavy on instant death for the amount of time you have to backtrack. It doesn't help that the checkpoint opens up with you having to wait for an ice block to melt for some reason, which just makes it take even longer. That kinda kills the buzz. I have to disagree with the other two judges. I thought that was a very well made and very fun level. I thought the precision jumping over the ice blocks was a nice challenge, and I never felt like it was way too difficult to handle. Definitely a nice job with this one. What do you have to say? This hippo will eat you. What's up? It's not eating me. I wanted to be eaten by a hippo. 27th place, an absolute loser. Well, you're in tier 9, so I don't think that's accurate. Combustion Castle. Score 66.50. 65, 76, 61, 64. 1 minute here. I'm just going to get this plug out. I don't recall the last time I actually charged these headphones. Oh, but yep, there we go. Hello, hello. Okay, we're still on. All right, let's do this. Huh. It's an interesting way to come into the level. So we have two enemies that shoot homing missiles. Oh. Auto scroll. I'm not trusting those waterfalls. Oh, screw you! It's the second time that hit me. Yeah, screw you. What is that? Oh! Okay. We're going the other way. Oh, and now there's a platform here. Huh. Hidden one up. Why on earth did we do that? It would have made more sense if there was a wall there. Oh. Allow me to show you the greeting of my people with my face. Smash my face right into you. Also, don't time your jumps properly. I just like smashing my face into everything. Missiles, enemies, ceilings. Again, that is a really awkward jump. Ugh. Going down.
Jump, jump,
Ah!
jump, jump.
When you want to use the board, but it wasn't in your box. Oh, these things. Yeah, you're relatively harmless without your buddy. Another fast auto-scroll past this teleporter. Make sure you charge your buster. No, I didn't want to...
Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump.
Oh, that's obnoxious.
Jump, 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 jump. Jump, 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 jump.
That was strange. A very... You may face my master now. He is an old foe with a burning hatred for you that is as hot as the sun. Sunstar? Solar Man? Better be Sunstar. Sunstar rules. Really? Mercury? That was a disappointing boss fight. Not sure how I feel about the stage either, but I'll see what the judges say. Parmesan. This is a really solid level. It doesn't break new ground, but it just plays well for most part. The auto-scrollers gradually get faster, but even when they're really fast, you make sure it's fair and the warning is a nice touch. Also, the point where you stop the auto-scroller with the button is neat. It's weird that it never showed up again, but that's not a huge deal, to be honest. Gotta take some points off though, because when the one auto-scroller ends, the level freaks out for a second. Other than that, it's a well-paced level, but it never really gets challenging. It's sort of quick to run through, but it fun without being over the top. The level just doesn't hit the mark from good to great. PK Ouija. Oh geez, you scared me with the first fast auto-scroller. But I have to say, it's a good way to make auto-scrollers less boring. That was my main concern when I saw that your gimmick was auto-scrolling. I was scared of having a boring, slow level to trek through. But you delivered the exact opposite, and gave me an exciting and fast stage. The last autoscroller is a bit dumb, as the missile from the enemy can snipe you easily, but the checkpoint is right there, so it's not that bad. MJack. It's kind of neat how much this level does with so little, especially in the aesthetics department. Just having Megaman leap into the action and having the lava waterfalls in the foreground and having some low-key but intense music playing in the background. Ninja Gaiden, right? All of that comes together to create a really cool vibe that made this level feel intense even when the actual level wasn't all that hard. Just to go back to the Ninja Gaiden, I don't recall that song being in any of the NES games. I didn't play much of 3 to be fair though. This is good, because I know from experience that making a level based around auto-scrollers too hard or even regular hard is a mistake. There are some little issues here and there. It's not clear how to progress if you accidentally hit the button at the end of the first auto-scroller twice, for instance, because there's no on-screen indication that it's attached to those blocks off-screen. I was able to stand in a pit during one of the auto-scrollers. That would have been funny to see. And there's a bit of a reverse difficulty curve where the first auto-scroller is way harder than anything else. And there's a Waltriot awkwardly hanging out in the last auto-scroller that contributes nothing to the level other than let you occasionally run into it while you're forced against the left edge of the screen and die. But if there is a big problem with this level though, it's that it's over before it even started. The jump, slide bits that make up the second half of the level are over way too quickly. I wish there had been more non-scrolling platforming that you could blaze through even through between auto-scrolls, rather than underwhelming Suix and Phoenix fight. Suzak and Phoenix. That's it. Phoenix. It almost feels mean to rate the level this low, but I think you could have done a lot more here. Freems. Alright, the stage entrance was really cute. I really enjoyed the first half of this level. The backtrack through an auto-scroll section really could have been a really cool gimmick. The level just did nothing with it after the first section. The second auto-scroll was your standard fare, and that last ones were just glorified Frostman ski sections. They weren't terribly designed Frostman ski sections, though the Waltriot missiles can easily mess you up at what I think is random, but it kinda lost the neat idea it started with, and unfortunately, it's a little buggy at points. I've had the auto-scroll jitter in weird spots, and at least once I've had platforms not spawn on the backtracking auto-scroll room, and I am obliged to bring note to the fire blocks that are barely even in the stage. When it comes down to it, I feel like the level was well made, but it had so much more potential if you just built upon some of the ideas you only touched upon. Yeah, thinking about it, I didn't think... It was an okay level. It wasn't anything to really write home about. The fast auto-scroll sections were neat, but... yeah, they were just Frostman snowboarding sections. And yeah, those fire pillars I think maybe were used twice in the level and never again. I think it could have been mixed well with the fast auto-scrolling sections, but... Maybe that would have been a little much. I've read about this level. Well, didn't read about the level, I read the name and cracked up when I first saw it too. I didn't know that was the author too. 96th place, Moonbase. Score 67, 46, 60, 93, 69. I think MJack liked this level, huh? Oh, I know what song this is, and I can't place it right now. Smooth. Smooth. Nothing to the left. Huh. I was expecting that to go fast. Heavy gravity? Yep. Come on, jump! Didn't jump there. Uh-oh. This is a tier 9 level, right? Oh, come on! I do not like sliding when I'm trying to jump. Is that thing hitting me in when I'm jumping on that other platform? I think that's what I'm doing. Alright. That's right, I can't do that. Now we got regular gravity. Ugh. That was not good. We're in tier 9, right? Parmesan. This level is competent in that it doesn't have any big pitfalls, but it fails to take any real risks. The tower gimmick is fine, the low gravity gimmick barely exists, and the high gravity is fine in the tower segment but barely makes a difference. It's a neat idea, but I really wish this level went further. This level is just okay, but it really needs to take the tower idea and go to the moon with it. Haha. I want to like this level more, but it falls short. The end boss is cute. PK Ouija. It kind of flew past me a bit, but the last tower climb did stand out the most, since it combined the higher gravity with the tower. Mostly because the one part with the Gabiol is a bit awkward to get through. But hey, it's doable enough. You're the reason this is here. M-Jack. I think the worst thing about this level is almost certainly its title. Can we just agree and call it Mbop? Or even better, Zigzagoon Base, like the Pokemon. Because all those M's look like a zigzag, and Zigzagoon is a good boy. Just like this good boy of a level. If my score seems kind of high, and I bet for some of you it will look kind of high, consider the following. This level is basically perfect in the Goldilocks sense of the word. Take away a section and it'd be perhaps too short. Add a section, it would feel extraneous. Not to mention, it'd break up the almost palindromic nature of the level. Darkman Tower, outside section in half gravity, standard platforming bit, outside section in half gravity, Darkman Tower. I think that's that's what sets Zigzagoon Base apart from any number of levels with similar themes, and the exact same tile set for that matter. The two tower segments that bookend the level hold everything together. The level isn't very hard, but that's a consequence of all the challenges being telegraphed well in advance. If you die in this level, it's entirely on you. I beg to differ. Which makes sense, because it would be surprising if the level with a box like this had any extremely difficult enemy challenges. And yet, the level does do some really cool setups with the Wonder Bells and the Sprinklins. My favorite has to be the Dirty Harry moment where the silver durable Wonder Bell variant, really neat idea by the way, is slowly ambling towards you, but if you spam the buster to kill it, you'll break the tower and get crushed. The final Sprinkland setup is really cool too, if a little difficult. It took me a while to realize you're supposed to take out the block by the Wonder Bell so that it'll get forced off screen. Oh, and of course Bandana Wonder Bell is just the cutest little guy. After a level all about restraint, it's so fulfilling to just mash fire at the level's end. To conclude, this level really hit a sweet spot for me, and is easily one of my favorite levels in the contest. Talk about that in a minute. Freems. I definitely enjoyed the usage of the Darkman Tower in this level. The first time your average run-of-the-mill introduction, we've seen it before, but not only was putting the second one in a high gravity a nice and easy way to keep things fresh, the enemy placement in that last section was mostly the Sprinkland. There still has me a little confused how you're meant to handle it without special weapons. Pretty smart. Being both a little threat and, more importantly, making you think about how you're taking care of them rather than just firing like crazy, getting crushed by the tower. The real shame is the parts of the level that don't revolve around the towers are kinda boring and forgettable. Outside of a few nice Shigaraki placements, don't know if that's how that's pronounced, it just felt like a bunch of filler until we got to the next tower. Beginning is a nice setup, ending is a great payoff, but the middle is just kinda there and that's it. At least the boss was adorable. I'd play as him in Megaman Star Allies. Might have to look that up later. Yeah, this stage... it does not deserve to be here. I'm sorry. I didn't enjoy this level. I thought the Zero Gravity Darkman Tower wasn't fun. Especially that end with the little springy guy, which, even after reading all their names several times in the judge reviews, I still don't know what they're called. That was annoying to get through, and I died numerous times when I feel like I made that platform without any problems. Excuse me. And yeah, the middle part was largely forgettable for the most part. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It was not a good level. I'm gonna play it a couple times, but I don't see that getting a very good review from me. Boomo, boomo, boomo. Boo, boo, boy, boo. And that's where the boss was. Alright. Hey! He did good! Much better this time. Or she. I'm not quite sure what their gender is. Or they. 25th place, Zatsupachi. Super Pipe World. Score 67.25. 75, 77, 68, 49. 16 minutes late. For those who are not familiar with Zatsupachi, yeah, that was the person who made Yggdrasil and in Mega Good Mega Man Level 2. It Alright, this is kind of funny. Yggdrasil is probably the most notorious level in that entire contest. It was very... Like, I haven't played that entire game, so... I'm trying to describe the level for somebody who hasn't played the game. It was... creative, but man, was the execution bad. And a lot of that is from, admittedly, Zatsupachi themselves, that it was very rushed. It was a very rushed level. Nope. I had it. Just can't stand on that pipe down there. Oh, this way. I bet there's gonna be something down there. Nope. Huh. Okay. As soon as it leaves the screen, it respawns. Not this one, though. Oh! Ah, boy. Slow-moving tops now. What? Alright, let's try this again. Not paying attention anymore. At least that one didn't look like I fell actually off the platform. I slid off the platform that time. Let's try it that way this time. Oh boy. I don't think I can reach that. Not without special weapons. So, I think I know what I'm supposed to do there. Yeah, okay. Yep. Yep, that was what I was supposed to do. H. But I've been here already. Okay, let's try to go down. Oh, did not want to go there. That looked like it was a very bad idea. Oh. Oh, okay, that was it. Oh no. That wasn't the end? I don't know what would have happened if I went into that pipe, but we're not gonna find out right now, that's for sure. Parmesan. Normally, I'm really not a fan of just mixing graphics from different series like this, because it's not even a reference to a game and feels like Mega Man is somewhere else. It's just a mishmash that usually feels out of place. Thing is, you executed it really well. Using the Waveman pipes for Mario pipes is super clever, especially the fact that it feels like a pipe maze. The Metroid graphics don't do much for me, but that's okay. all of the graphics are telegraphed fairly well, especially with the Top Man tops and the shadow clones. The big room near the end, where you have to figure out where you are going, is excellent. It's hard to navigate, but you're never walking around in a circle. Never walking around in a circle. It feels like stumbling around, but it really isn't. I have 2 complaints about this level otherwise, but they're not a huge deal. One, the shadow clones begin in a really confined space is really annoying. I'd maybe give one more tile of leeway in some of these areas so they're less cramped. 2, the Top Man lifts should spawn one tile lower in several cases because you can miss the top too often and have to sit around waiting since there's a small window for something that shouldn't be a challenge. These small changes would be really nice, but that's not to say that this isn't a good level. Just that another edit to it would bring it a step up. PK Ouija. That's a really cool usage of the wave pipes. The level screams personality, and it was pretty fun to play through. Although, the top platform climb was rather frustrating at times. Other than that though, it was a fun time with cool moments that made me go, whoa, what? M-Jack. Historically, Waveman pipes have been used not as legitimate stage gimmicks in their own right, but as fodder for fancy cutscenes. This is a little odd when you consider that arguably the most famous video game franchise of all time uses pipes as a key element in nearly all of its stages. Which is to say that while usually I'm skeptical of stages that import their aesthetics from other franchises, the Mario theming in this level is actually pretty inspired. Certainly, I got a giant belly laugh from that opening cutscene, even though it raises some questions of identity, i.e., whether DOS Megaman is a separate entity from the Blue Bomber Alpha. And the maze that serves as the level's centerpiece is a bit confusing, but I really enjoyed exploring it. Of course, all the creativity in the world can't mask this level's big flaw, which is that every single thing having to do with the top lifts is bad. The windows to hop on and off them are invariably too small, your horizontal movement on them isn't taken into account, they persist through screen transition and interact strangely with destructible blocks. My enjoyment of the level just screeched to a halt every time one of those tops showed up. The enemies are pretty negligible too. What did Mollard add to this level, for instance? Really, more so than Mario, this level reminds me of an entry from Megaman Past. Remember a Mega Man for All Seasons? And how that wasn't a platformer so much as it was an art piece, I guess? I love the level for its abounding charm, but it was extremely difficult to evaluate a level design perspective because it operated in an entirely different mode than a run-and-gun action I'm accustomed to from Mega Man. This level is in a similar spot, where I honestly don't know where to start criticizing it from that perspective, or whether criticizing it from a perspective that is even worth it. Thankfully, the score rubric as I chose to interpret it gives me an out in cases like this. Dock the level in design, but give it high marks in fun, which is what I'll do. Frames. I'm not an expert on Mario level design by any means. There's a lot of differences between designing a Mario level and designing a Mega Man level. However, if there's one thing I can say with a good level of confidence, it's that pipe mazes aren't fun in Mario games, and that it sure isn't fun here. That entire last stretch of the stage felt pointless and just like a time waster. The first pipe section was probably the best part, although it doesn't go much further than introducing the pipe gimmick to you. The first top section is incredibly obnoxious, has some jumps that are way more annoying for their own good, and felt really janky with the tops interacting with some of the destructible blocks. Lastly, I just want to know if anyone ever sat down and thought to themselves that they really wanted to fight two Quickmen at the same time, especially when they inexplicably have different damage charts from one another. It's just sort of a rough experience at the end of the day. The main thing is this level really has going for it is the Mario aesthetic, and it's certainly an aesthetic that's not new at this point. Maybe with more cues taken from actual pipe levels and from Mario, things could have ended up a bit cleaner. Yeah, I have mixed feelings on this one. I didn't enjoy the top sections at all, as evident by how much I actually died from them. There was a lot of waiting around. For the tops to respawn, and yeah, that's pretty much my two gripes with the top man. The pipe maze sections, though, were pretty decent, and I actually enjoyed the little navigation of the last maze at the end. And I'm sorry, Freems, but pipe maze levels in Mario can actually be very fun. I actually enjoy the ones in Mario 3, but maybe I'm in the minority. Who knows? Oh, 24 is down there. Fun trivia. This used to be a swimming pool. More fun trivia. I was here when they converted it into an ice rink. Aw, poor little guy. 24th place, Psych Lantern, Central Computer. Score 67.75. 74, 74, 72, 51. And Ringman platforms. Oh, those frickin' things. Genova? I'm not kidding, that's actually the name of the song. This song does not really fit in to a Mega Man level. Because, yeah, nothing says Mega Man like fighting in a giant alien mutation from outer space that wants to basically destroy our planet. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore you. Hey! Rude. Ow. So this is a... Okay, I know what to do. Nope. Not that! I guess on topic with the music, I really did enjoy the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I thought the gameplay was nice, the story was solid, even though it was more, well, I wouldn't say more or less a retelling of the first 2 hours of Final Fantasy VII. There were differences in the story that were very love it or hate it. There we go. But I thought the game was pretty solid. I like the gameplay mostly. Down here. Alright, there's the key. Now we're going that way. Ah. I am skeptical as to where the series is going to go right now, but... That is really obnoxiously placed. Ah, for fuck's sake! That's not going to kill it, so... How the hell do you get past that? Nope. You press up to go on a ladder. Just go, just go. Okay. Really hate these platforms. Well, that was literally just designed to make the stage a little bit longer. Boss fight. Sheepman. Coatless Carl. Making the 8-bit version of Genova, a theme from Final Fantasy VII. Oh, Christ. One enemy can really dampen an entire level. Parmesan. Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed this level. The whole aesthetic works really well with the music, and it just feels really good. I feel like the difficulty on this one is on the higher side, but it's still reasonable and scales up while introducing everything properly. Honestly, I enjoyed that it was tricky and that while the challenges usually looked tough, they were still intuitive, like some of the really tight jumps from the ladders or the side with the spiked blocks. They feel satisfying and keep the level consistently engaging. The level is really fun with a lot of unique setups, but it really just feels like it's lacking something. A few of the challenges, mainly in the screen right before the first checkpoint, are just slightly unintuitive the first time. And the fact that you have to redo a whole section if you mess up isn't the greatest. Also, I like the challenge right before the boss gate, like, cool, Ringman platform challenge, but it being so late in the section with something that tricky where I think players may not get it wholly the first time just feels too unforgiving. Overall, solid level, it could just be tweaked a bit. PK Ouija. Some neat interactions with the skull cannons and the ring platforms that give it a more puzzly approach. Not much else to say, but there were some cheap shots with the rolling ball enemies above you, which could easily snipe you if you aren't careful. MJack. Where do you fall on our video games art debate? Me, personally, I'm sort of skeptical. But undeniably, there's one big overlap between video games and all the visual arts, from painting to cinema to comic books. That's the question of framing. Where do you place elements on your canvas for maximum clarity and visual impact? I mention this because I think this level's problems don't stem from poor level design so much as they do from decent to great level design being marred by poor framing. Consider the 8th and 9th screens of this level, which have Ringman bridges placed over very, very bottom of the screen, with the spike pit below it stuck at the very top of the screen below it. There's at least 32 pixels worth of headroom that could be shaved off those screens so that the elements that scream Death Pit are visible. This level is full of similarly subpar framing in which overly narrow corridors alternate with bits of overly generous headroom, and floors exist only as tiny little slivers. This gives the whole stage a claustrophobic vibe that really detracts from some of the fun setups contained within. And the level is fun, to be clear. I think you get a lot of mileage out of the gimmicks. The Ringman bridges more so than the fork blocks, and a lot of the rooms contain fun puzzle platforming. The best of these is the first key room, which runs on a pair of intertwining cycles, but still gives you much time as you need to figure out your game plan. I even like the boss fight with the Susie, which is as claustrophobic as the rest of the level, but in a good way. Still though, my main takeaway from this level is that it would be a little better if the screens adhered more to the conventions of how Mega Man lays out its screens, or the rule of thirds. Less Mr. Robot, more Super Fighting Robot, you dig? Frames. There are some decent puzzle setups throughout this level, but some are bogged down by inconsistent cutting wheel behaviors. After the first few are stationary, having one just land on you and pretty much guarantee a death if you don't know it's coming is very rude. Some strange spike placements that certainly don't cause issues, but at the same time, I can't figure out why they're even there. And in the handful of cases, the Ringman bridge is acting inconsistent and sending me into a pit of spikes that needs a screen transition to get through for some reason. I'm also going to note how weirdly pointless the key door sections were. The first time was alright, but the second time it just made you backtrack through the very unremarkable room for some reason. Just a lot of strange decisions that hamper the quality of the level. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the key rooms, simply because of the second one, like Freem said, why is it there? It's just moving a few screens over to the left to grab a key to move a few screens over to the right and unlock a door. And when I say screens, I don't mean screen transitions, I mean everything's all contained on the same screen, and it just seems utterly pointless. And that second key was a chore to get. I'm sorry, that was not fun. Trying to deal with that cutter that kept coming down and hitting me off the platform was just enraging. I did not enjoy that at all. Maybe there was something I was missing. The time that I did get it, I literally just ran and got the key and didn't stop. I guess that's the intended method to get through that, but anyway. Water. Speaking of water, 23rd place, Phazon Motherbrain, Toadman's Underwater Sea Lab. Score 68.25, 83, 71, 60, 59. And yep, I see Venus waterfalls. I see Dr. Light. Another gimmick that tries to say that Toadman is super powerful. And you're about a pixel lower than me. Oh, okay. It's supposed to be underwater. I was distracted by the outside, like, why the hell is it? But it's supposed to indicate that I'm underwater. Because, get it? Underwater Sea Lab? Are these gonna have the same glitchy effect as that other level? Go left. Nothing. Now we're outside the lab. Oh, you're fancy looking enemies. Right. Boop 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 bop bop. Yeah. I really don't like these enemies. Well, don't need that one up now. Ew. We're just gonna stand here. I ain't dealing with those waterfalls. Oh, come on! Oh, there's a ladder right there. Huh. That's glitchy. Okay, so those come to our proximity. They come down when I stand underneath them. Probably gonna keep me from going to the next level. Parmesan. My number one praise of this level is pacing. Using the A-B-A-B-A-B format really works wonders. It means I never got bored of one gimmick, while the other one always had something new to offer. Also, just want to acknowledge that Venus waterfalls can be terrible gimmicks, but you made them work. The waterfall sections always felt fair and well telegraphed, so you were never confused about what was going to happen. It was clear and fair, but still challenging. Going from a section based on a lot of waiting to the faster-paced falling platform segment was great. Oof. Then the final section wasn't tedious because when the waterfalls were falling, the Docker lockers kept you engaged in those moments. And I'd usually say using Venus waterfalls in a boss is a bad idea, but it's Toadman, so it was fine. Really well designed level. Good job. PK Ouija. The combination of its two gimmicks is very well handled here, but after a bit, it feels like I'm going through the same sections again. Just a bit changed to make them harder. I wish I could say more here, because I did enjoy it quite a bit, but it didn't really leave me with much to talk about, sadly. M-Jack. Was there a sub-contest going on called Make a Hard Toadman Fight or something? There's about a dozen entries which have you fight Toadman over spikes, or on oil, or backwards and heels or something, and all of them are just silly. Toadman is still absurdly easy no matter how deterious you fill his arena with. How much I screwed that word up. I know I did. The level itself, though, is better than it might look at first glance. I think that what makes this level work is that there is a structure here alternating between sections in the submarine and underwater segments, which makes it feel like you're making progress and moving forwards even though the aesthetics here are so rudimentary. I also really enjoyed some of the faster sections of the level, where you had to hold right and traverse the Concrete Man platforms, especially towards the very end of the level, where you jump past a wall of waterfalls and through boss doors to safety. That felt super cool. Now, unfortunately, this level does feel pretty empty due to the underwhelming enemy placement. I did enjoy some of the Docker Locker setups, to be fair. It was fun sniping the column of them, but they definitely didn't provide much of a challenge. And I really didn't get why the Quickman lighting was here, or what it added to the segments, where they showed up. But you know, all things considered, I mostly enjoyed this level. Freems. I highly doubt this is on purpose or anything, but it almost felt like I played the same level twice. The first time was pretty alright, albeit a little too empty, and the second time there were a lot more spikes and a lot more waterfalls. For the most part, I think you had a good idea about how to use the waterfalls because combining them with the lockers was a very good move, as it gives you something to avoid while you're waiting for the waterfall. But by the end of the level, it started to run out of its novelty as it kept doing the same setup multiple times. While the lockers and the two gimmicks were used well, the other two enemies were left pretty ignored for the most part. I also, for the life of me, cannot figure out how the point of having the lights go out 2 times it does. It doesn't make anything impossibly hard or anything, it's just there's really no point other than for you to not always have a clear idea where the instant death ceiling is the second time it happens. Far from a bad time, but it was a little bit of a strange one. I felt the quick lighting spots were actually, well, created. It felt nice just quickly moving through those segments without, like, knowing exactly where the spike ceiling was or anything like that. I don't know, I enjoyed those sections of the level, but it seems like the judges didn't. Oh, where is my cabin? But yeah, I enjoyed that level, but seriously, stop trying to make Toadman more difficult than he needs to be. He's not a difficult fight whatsoever. He's one of the easiest Robot Masters, and I understand the meme of trying to make him difficult, but just knock it off. The meme's dead. That worked. Oh. Alright. I'm actually gonna go try another level, see if I'm actually able to do it. Because if I can, I'm just going to complete the contest and then try all this nonsense. But we are nearing the 2-hour mark. So, I think if I am able to do this level, it'll probably be the last level I do for the run. 22nd place, Kitsune Fox, Darkwing City. Score 68.50. 87, 67, 54, 66. I can do it. Okay. Okay. Let's get the music back, as I was actually enjoying that song. The game sometimes hiccups like that and cuts the music out. Just from the sound of the music, sounds like it would probably be something from Darkwing Duck. And considering the name of the level... Oh! Ah! I should have guessed that was gonna happen. Ah! Oh, oh, come on. Let's restart that run. Eddie! I thought you were an enemy. No, no, no. Ooh. That force beam looks very instant deathy. And it is. Boss fight. And we get a fight Darkwing Duck. But you heard, man. Okay. But they've made the wall jut out, so I can't fight you like you're normally supposed to. That was a fun stage. And that night 8-bit rendition of the Darkwing Duck theme was very funny. I just had to keep quiet and listen to it. Parmesan. Oh my! I haven't thought about Darkwing Duck in years. The graphics here are really nice, and the billboards were such a good touch. The level is short, but concise in a very good way. The two intro challenges work to ease you in, and then it just jumps into mixing them very quickly. They never made me feel like, okay, when is the level going to actually start? The quick laser sections were short, engaging, and always felt fair. The really slow moving ones aren't a new idea, but they were still executed really well and are fun to play. The boss reskin just tied the whole level together. The whole level never overstays its welcome and never gets boring. Good job. PK Ouija. I love me some personality in a stage. The billboards were subtle, but they added a lot of flavor to the level. As for the challenges, they were nothing groundbreaking, and they got reused a bit throughout the level. Generally, though, it was fun, and I did enjoy the force beam chase. Also, I didn't know Darkwing was such a heavyweight. M-Jack. Did you know that if you rearrange the letters in Darkwing Duck, and then you get rid of some of the letters, and then turn the W upside down, and then squint so that the K looks like an H, and the C looks like a second A, you get Hardman? This level reminds me a lot of Megaman 1 with its level design choices. There's lots of wide open spaces, it's a little repetitive, and there's even a cute little big eye at the end. Luckily for you, I really enjoyed Mega Man 1, and I had a good time blasting through the level. It turns out that the core gameplay of Mega Man is fun, even when you're not using all your gimmicks. That's not to say this level doesn't have its fair share of problems, most of them involving quick lasers. You mix and match the two varieties of quick beams, sometimes on the same screen, but the non-fatal variety are used on the easier challenges. If you're going to mix and match, the less punishing lasers should have been used on the harder screens to slightly mitigate the difficulty. The last screen is the most gratuitous. My playstyle usually revolves around holding X and right simultaneously unless there's a compelling reason to do otherwise. So I didn't realize what a gotcha screen it is. Actually, there's a lot of gotchas in this level, like that one tile high tunnel that drops you into a pit of spikes. I missed that apparently. Unless you turn around and face plant into a death laser. Okay, it's also kind of weird that you use the two level gimmicks together almost at the very beginning of the level, and then never use them in the same screen again, I suppose. But I like this level, despite some notable flaws. Some of this might just be down to the cute city environment, complete with billboards for E-tanks and the like. It's charming, but more importantly, it makes the stage feel like it's set somewhere. And come on, who wouldn't go to the Flashman's Disco? That would be an incredible disco. Freems. It's always a pleasant surprise when you play a level that actually feels pretty right in length. The enemy placement was pretty on point for the most of this level. They were introduced pretty well and never felt terribly unfair, even those dashing Plantman bugs. And while I'm at it, I'll say that the boss replacement was cute, so good on that. On the other side of things, the Force Beam introduction could have been a little cleaner. Not only does the first room with them make you stall long enough that you might get bopped by the first Force Beam if you don't slide fast enough, but after you introduce the damage you over time beams, the last room in the very same room just happens to be a different kind of Force Beam with absolutely no warning. Freems is a very good judge, but he does do a lot of run-on sentences. He's very descriptive in everything, but it does make it a little difficult to read out loud. But then again, I'm not the best reader. I'll be the first to admit that. Really, the Force Beam challenges didn't really feel unfair after that introduction, but the first few rooms were definitely harder than the ones in the rest of the level. That, and rarely when Force Beams come down vertically instead of horizontally, there's really no way to predict that it's going to happen. Generally, when you see an open hole in the wall, you can guess that a Force Beam is going to pop out of there. But there was no indication that anything was going to come out of that ceiling. It might sound minor, and in the grand scheme it is, but telegraphing is important. The challenges with the rocket platforms were a lot more consistent in terms of difficulty though. But sometimes the platform cycles got out of sync at the end, which ended up making the challenge a lot harder than it needed to be. A good deal of thought was put into this, I feel, but a couple of aspects just don't quite add together. But even with its flaws, it managed to be a pretty fun time. And at the very least, I'll sincerely thank you for not making me play a Force Beam level that goes on for triple the length it should. Positives. I very much enjoyed that level. It has been quite some time since I've thought about Darkwing Duck, so that was a nice trip down memory lane. Excuse me. And yeah, I actually didn't mind the force beams, like, because I could tell which ones were going to damage me and which ones weren't, based on the color that they were. So I assumed the solid force beams were going to be instant death, and I was right in that assumption. So that didn't bother me at all. What did bother me was some of the layout it was really difficult to see where the holes were in the walls and in the ceiling. So it was tough to see where the force beams were going to come out of. But I mean, for the most part, the force beam challenges in the level weren't unnecessarily difficult, though. So there is that. And with that, I am actually going to call it for today. I know we only have 2 more levels in the tier, but we have been doing this for 2 hours, and it does get a little strenuous on the throat reading all of these judge comments. Only 21 more to go, though. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.